I would be checking your brains, man, using a microscope or something if you did not pre-order this one. Hi and welcome back to the channel. I'm Steven with your weekly figure news fix. This time around 30th of September to 5th of October 2024. We are into the last quarter of the year, and before we proceed, a number of announcements over here. Firstly, let me just admit it right now that I was so wrong last week when I said that there will be less figure pre-orders this week, because yeah, this week is a public holiday week in China, which is only true for the third-party resin figures. We have way lesser stuff than usual, but for the genuine anime figures, this is even worse than last week. Yeah, I forgot to factor in one very simple thing, and that was 2 anime figure events within a 7-day period. So naturally, some of the stuff displayed over there are going to pre-order open within the same week. I forgot about that one simple fact. So we are being greeted with absolutely the worst week of the year. This is the most expensive anime figure pre-order week of 2024, hands down. I've never seen this level of chaos, right? And I am going to cover the 4 figures I missed out because they went on pre-order last Saturday as well. So there are a lot of stuff to go through. Next thing is that, OneFest Shanghai coverage. Yes, I am doing it. So this past week was insane for me. Last Sunday, Figure News Fix 1 hour and 7 minutes of video. And then on Tuesday, was it Tuesday? Yeah, I did a coverage on Megahobby Expo. That is another 1 hour or so. And then Friday, I published one of the hardest videos to edit in my 4 years of YouTubing, and that was how to clean anime figures. 30 minutes of video over there, but I was dealing with 250 gigs of video footage. You know, I need to pick things from this and that footage and combine them. And now today, this figure news fix this week, I don't know how I am able to handle all this workload, you know, but OneFest Shanghai coverage, yes, I'm still doing it. It is coming next week because what happened was that I filmed the OneFest Shanghai coverage in advance, actually, like 2 days ago. And then when I was editing a video, Google Berries suddenly published another 5 full pages of new figures. I was like, what the heck? I already filmed the coverage, and now I need to film those 5 pages again and, you know, insert them into my current coverage. Not to mention that, some of the things I say in that OneFest Shanghai coverage video are probably outdated. For example, I said that I don't know what the price of this figure is, but you know, by now they have gone on pre-order, so yeah. Alright, now we shall take a look at Hobby Link Japan for the genuine figures first. And yeah, once again, too many stuff, and we have a lot of 1x4 scales. This was a big highlight of OneFest Shanghai 2024. I said that I was unable to predict the price on this thing. And this is coming from Prem 1 Studio 1x4 scale Persona 5 Makoto Nijima. This turning out to be like 200,000 yen plus, 210,000 yen. If I have to be honest with you guys, this is way cheaper than I predicted. Yeah, I was expecting 250 to 300k because of that huge bite in 1x4 scale, right? And not to mention, Prime 1 Studio figures are either resin or polystone, very expensive. So to see this figure of Makoto with the bite over there at the 200,000 yen price range, right, which is the same range as their other existing 1x4 scale statues, is a bit surprising. That also means that if you are a huge fan of Persona 5 with very deep pockets, this is a must-have. Yeah. Of course, there is a cheaper version without the bike for 126k, 127k. I mean, if you are into this kind of very high-end market, go all out, get the bike with the figure, right? It is worth it. Okay, moving on to the next one, Devil May Cry 3 Dante statue by first 4 figures, 126k. So the size of this thing is at least 1x4, I think. HLJ is always like this. They never mention dimensions, but at this price, I would expect it to be at least 1x4 scale. Not the kind of thing I would collect, obviously. Okay, moving on to the next one. We have 2 figures by Furyu at 1x4 scale. Yeah, they are Japanese doll series where you pay for overpriced 1x4 scale Hadaka figures. Hadaka because, you know, they are dressing them up with this handmade kimono cloth or yukata cloth. I don't know what is this? I mean, I'm not very knowledgeable in these things. Anyways, handmade cloth, so they don't come cheap. But at the same time, if you look at Ami sales section, no, some of the Japanese doll figures, they bargain bin anyway. And instead of 180k, you pay like 120k or 100k. Will this bin? I mean, we are looking at Akemi Homura and also Madoka, right? Both of these characters are very popular. And these characters are suitable to wear yukata, unlike Misaka Mikoto, it feels out of place, but for these two characters, it feels very suitable. Will they bargain bin? I don't know how to predict on this one, because Madoka and Akemi Homura has always been popular. But in my opinion, this Japanese doll series, they are still overpriced regardless, right? I mean, you visit Japan, you see those dolls with all these clothes on. Yeah, maybe they are not at a higher quality, but they are a small fraction of the price of whatever you're paying for these real figures. So all the while, all these years, I could never justify something like this, even if I had the money to afford them. Okay, moving up next, we have 3 versions of this 1x4 scale exclusive made Lilia special version. Okay, by Pink Mango. Is that Chinese or Japanese? I'm not too sure. Okay, anyways, 36,000 yen if you go for the double bonus limited edition, 2 bonus items in the package, or you can pay 34,500 for 1 single bonus item, or figure only for 32,500, which is fair enough because this is a partially cast offable figure, and the character design on this is 10 out of 10. Well, for me personally, it's 9 out of 10 because I prefer the Oppai to be smaller, but otherwise character design for everyone is a 10 out of 10. This is a very pretty figure. And I would rather you get something like this over a freeing 1x4 whenever possible. Yeah, this is a good buy. And kneeling pose, the box won't be that big. Cheaper to ship as well. Okay, moving on to the next one. Yeah, this figure pre-order opened last Saturday, so I'm covering her right now. With single Kurumisawa by Party Look, Chinese figure brand, premium brand, and 40k. Yeah. So this is about the same as freeing, but actually slightly better value because, well, she is cast offable, and I imagine there will be part swapping involved. So you are getting extra parts, you are paying for like 1.5 figures at 40k, making this not a bad purchase at all as long as you like the character design. So interestingly, this is by Party Look because this is the international version, and the signboard she is holding the word on it, Otherware, which is their Chinese division, like their domestic China market division. They call Otherware in China, right? And most likely, yeah, those edgy parts are missing in the China version, the domestic version. So if you get this figure from Taobao, she might be a lot cheaper than usual, but beware because you might be getting a domestic China version with missing edgy parts. This is the rough part because for people like me, I prefer to import from China instead of Japan because of the huge difference in savings when it comes to shipping cost. Yet, for figures like this, it is extremely hard to find the Japan version or international version over in Chinese websites because, yeah, there are local laws over there. Okay, moving on to the next one. We still have more 1x4s. Okay, so this is Rindo Kobayashi Bikini Bunny version. She is actually one of my favorite female characters in Shokugeki no Soma or Food Wars. Yeah, JC Staff screwed up the anime big time, especially the last 2 seasons because of very strict budget. It feels like watching a PowerPoint presentation, but I still enjoyed it nonetheless because I loved the story on that. I just love watching how the characters change, the character development over 4 or 5 seasons, where the main heroine Nakiri Erina was like a complete a-hole in the beginning because of influence from her father. By the end of season 3 or somewhere in season 4, she respects the main character Soma a lot more, almost have a crush on him, something like that. And not just the heroines, I mean, there are other supporting characters where they changed a lot, their attitude from the beginning to the later stages of the anime. This is why I loved Food Wars so much, even though it is far from perfect. And for Rindo over here, yeah, the vice president, right, of the student council in their school, or she is such a lovable, such a likable character. Like, she is someone who is very high up position, yet she acts like very chill, you know. I love this kind of people. So this is Bikini Bunny version at 36,000 yen at 1x4. Okay, typical price for free ink, July release. I prefer the older version of Window. Yeah, the previous version, and this one is still not bad, but I just prefer the previous Bunny version if I had to choose between them. But still, no Window, she is incredibly popular. I think the previous version is now very expensive, rare and expensive. Maybe that one will get a re-release because Nakiri Arena, the older version, is getting a re-release at only 27,000 yen. This is a huge bargain. And yeah, this Tsundere face over here is enough of a reason to get this arena figure if you missed out the first release. I really appreciate Free Ink for re-releasing this one instead of removing the stockings and, you know, charging 27,000 yen. Next week, there will be a new Nakiri Arena bikini figure to go with that Window figure, the new one earlier. So yeah, pay attention to that. But if you are looking to save some money, yeah, maybe pick up the re-release version, I mean. Not a bad buy at all. And I predict Window, the older version, might re-release as well next week. Yeah. Okay, moving on to the next one. 1x5.5 Ne G. Original illustration pink hair Chan Kuro girl version. Okay, so this is once again giant boing boing thing. And she is wearing almost nothing. To my surprise, this is by Daiki Kogyo and not A+ or Q6. Okay. Maybe it is just outsourcing, right? Like, it is not uncommon for a few figure brands, you know, to work together and then they outsource. They have so many characters. You take half of them, I take half of them. Very common. Maybe that is what's happening over here. So this is at 23k only, extremely affordable. And when I see the price point, right, large scale 1x5.5, which Daiki normally doesn't do. That is something Q6 does. And 23,000 yen is also the normal price range of a Q6 figure. I am suspecting that this is a Q6 figure, but Daiki is just somehow involved in the manufacturing. Yeah. As for the figure itself, man, she is so glossy, so shiny, man. Maybe she has lotion or oil all over the place. So much oil that the US military might invade her in case they found out about this figure. So, I'm not sure if I like the glossy effect, but this is not my kind of figure anyway. Okay, moving on to the next one. We are now into 1x6 scale territory, and this is by Limland, a Chinese figure brand, a relatively new brand. Wow, 1x6 scale, the noble. I'm not supposed to pronounce that word over there because who knows what the algorithm thinks. I'll just call her High Elf Queen Irene. Okay, special edition, 19,000 yen. You're getting a Hadaka body part to swap out, which is the one you should be getting. Or you can go for the standard version where she is wearing white color micro bikini for 17,000 yen only. Both are really good value, so why not go all out and buy the deluxe version? Makes no sense to get the standard version. Yeah, I really want one. I want one badly, man. I have a thing for elves in general, be it big or small opai. Can't go wrong with this one, right? This is very cheap and I can definitely recommend her. Next one here, another ecchi figure. We have so many of them this week. A huge pain in the butt for me to censor. House of Desire series Bathroom Girl 1x6 scale by Pink Mosaic, a new brand I have never heard of, but at 27k, this is probably Japanese, not Chinese, you know. I can't justify this at 27,000 yen because this is just a woman with no clothes on and she is taking a shower. So, I mean, when there are no clothes on, it means that the figure isn't very detailed to begin with. Not many parts. Why is she so expensive? Yeah, can't justify it in my opinion. Okay, moving on to the next one. 1x6 scale Okakizuki illustration video by Union Creative at 1x6 scale 25,000 yen. Now, speaking of Union Creative, they did not appear at all in both Megahobby Expo and OneFest Shanghai. I wonder what happened. Okay, anyways, this is coming out in June at 25,000 yen 1/6, and we are getting that couch and everything. Fair enough. Not cheap, but not expensive either. Union Creative figures, they in general are not very pricey. As for quality control, I think you guys who watch me a lot, you already know by now that their QC can be a hit or miss. It can be a bit of a gacha, but nowadays, you know, they are not as bad as maybe 3 years ago. This is still a great looking figure, but I'm not sure if I like the color scheme. Okay, moving on to the next one, we have two versions of this figure of Sophia Marianne by Omaha, Chinese figure brand. So the deluxe version is going for 17,500 yen. Standard version, where you get only this nun outfit, for 15,800. So of course, buy the deluxe one because you are getting a Hadaka body part for just an additional 2,000 yen. That is cheap AF, man. Okay, I don't know why, but the standard version, just call it standard version. Why are you calling it STD version? Because STD means something else in English, you know. Not the first time I'm seeing Japanese or Chinese figure brands calling standard STD. Not the first time. So the character design on this is okay, but you know, nun figures are so common nowadays. So it doesn't feel that special to me, but I like the design on this one. She is cheap because, you know, the detail level on this is not very high. I've seen nun outfits with 3 times the amount of detail compared to this one. Okay, moving up to the next one, what do we have over here? 1/6 scale Danjo no Yujo ga Seritsu Dekinai type no Ona Tomodachi. Yeah, kind of my type too. She is hot. By Enso Toys, Chinese figure brand again, 15,000 yen only. I think there is a bonus version with at 17 or 18,000 yen over at Ami. Yeah, and this one, the bonus version was partially cast-offable. I'm not too sure about this standard version over here. So for this specific figure, which I like a lot because she is very photogenic, go for the deluxe version, which I think only Ami is offering. Yeah. Character design, just a normal girl, you know, in bikini, swimsuit, and hot pants, but still very attractive because of her smile right there. Okay, so moving on to the next one. This is one of my favorite scale figures this week. Bunny Cop 1/7 scale by Hobby Sakura, but I don't understand why this is 28,000 yen. At least in the pictures below, I couldn't see any indication of having cast-offable parts included in the box. Is this cast-offable? Yeah, I should have checked my figurecollection.net in advance. It better be because Hobby Sakura, normally it is like 18,000 yen standard, 20,000 yen deluxe including wall scroll. This is 28k for reasons I don't know, other than maybe regional pricing, they're doing it on purpose. So at 28k, I am expecting extra parts included in the box for the Hadaka version. Otherwise, this is a bit difficult to justify. Yeah. Character design wise, oh, this is awesome. Thick in the right places, man. She is thick. Okay, moving on to the next one. Okay, Azur Lane and Senran Kagura collab. We have Yumi being assigned as an aircraft carrier. You know, I have always found this concept of pretty women being aircraft carriers, like, I never liked this concept since the Kantai collection days. My opinion still holds true for Azur Lane, except that Azur Lane has way nicer character designs than Kantai collection. So this is by Freeing at 1/7 scale, interestingly. 24k. And coming out in July next year. So everything else are well protected except the 2 cannons on her chest. I just don't get the character design sometimes, you know. Okay, moving on to the next one, we have Holo. This was actually from One Fest Shanghai, from Spice and Wolf, and 1/7 scale by Kadokawa. Man, this whole thing with the base for 19,000 yen, that is very generous of Kadokawa. March release next year. This is a good buy if you are into Dakimakura style figures. This is okay. She looks nice. She looks attractive as well, but there are better Holo figures out there. Just that whether it is easy to find them is another different story, right? The colors on this are attractive. I mean, brown and blue always go well together. Warm and cold color. So you have color theory right there, you know. Okay, moving on to the next one. Blue Archive Mari Gym Uniform Memorial Lobby version by PM Office A, formerly known as Plum. This is normally 23k but discounted down to 21k. Not bad. Figures by Plum in general, they are not very expensive. Yeah, around this price range for everything they make. And Plum is a lolly enthusiast. Yeah, man of culture working for Plum because a lot of the figures they choose to make, right? The characters they choose, they always go for lolly characters for some reason. Even when Idolmaster has so many characters, they always pick the lolly characters. Yeah. So I'm not too surprised by this. Plum, once again, average figure company. Detail level is just meat, but hey, Blue Archive can't go wrong if you like the character, you know. Okay, moving on to the next one. Okay, this was from last Saturday. So a quick mention over here, Apex Toys, 1x7 scale Blue Archive Iroha, 17k only. I like the character design on this. I have always liked, girls in military uniforms. They make for good diorama material in a way, can display them next to a fleet of World War II era rifles, for example. But okay, this is a good buy. As long you don't mind simple figures, right? Wow, I'm just 1/3 of the way through the genuine figures and we are like over 20 minutes, almost 30 minutes. Yeah, 20, 22 minutes, 24 minutes. Anyways, let's move on to the next one over here. 1x7 scale Iruru. Yeah, from that giant melon girl from Dragon Maid, Miss Kobashi Dragon Maid. By Wave Corporation, almost 22,000 yen, coming out in January. There are a few figures of her out there already, but the one I remember best was the one with giant melons on the chest and she was like floating in mid-air. I think it was Good Smile Art Shanghai. I think there are like 3 scale figures of her already. This one I am not a big fan because the pose is a bit bland, but I think this is based on an artwork, right? I think I've seen this artwork before. Yeah, I still prefer the floating pose one a bit, but this is not bad. And Wave Corporation, their figures are solid. I don't have much complaints about the stuff they make. Okay, moving on to the next one. What do we have? 1x7 scale original character Devil Girl by Toy Sen. Okay, a new Chinese figure brand again, I assume. 15,000 yen, September release next year. Oh, I like this character design. She's nice. Look at the paintwork on her wings, man. This is not something you'll see at a figure at this price point. Oh, this figure is putting all those expensive albedo figures to shame. Some albedo figures, right, the lower effort or cheaper ones, it is like the entire wing is just black color and only few companies will do some gradient work on the feathers at the very edges of the wings, right? So this is impressive for 15,000 yen. I have no idea how many shades of blue and violet they're using over here, but there is a lot of shading on the wings. The wings are beautiful. And the hair appears to be translucent too. Appears to be. So this is a very nice figure. All in all, 15k is not a bad purchase. But sitting pose 1x7, this is going to be a tiny figure, unfortunately. Moving up next, we are now in Azur Lane territory. There are 4 Azur Lane figures this week and 3 of them are really good. The first one here, this is a surprise to me, because this is a collab between Ami Ami and Any-Game. So I would expect this to be an Ami Ami exclusive, but apparently it isn't. This went on pre-order like on Tuesday, but HLJ listed her on Friday, so it took them a few days, maybe because they're looking for suppliers, something like that. But to see this one appear on HLJ and other Japanese sites, I'm surprised. Yeah. Normally I'm against a specific website exclusive. I'm really against that. Like, we consumers should get to choose where we want to buy our figures from. Back to this figure, Shinano. Yeah, she is very popular. So to see that it took figure companies so long to make a figure of Shinano, yeah. Alter announced one in Megahobby Expo last week, but I would have expected this character over here to get a figure way sooner. 22,000 yen, 1x6 scale, and Any-Game. Good buy. It is a good buy. The thing with Any-Game is that they give you big Azur Lane figures on the cheap, but the pose can be a bit bland, and this is one such example, but they still make really good figures. So this one comes as recommended. The second Azur Lane figure over here, this is also one of the best of the week. Any-Game, 1x6 scale Ulrich von Hutton. Okay, it feels like Any-Game is picking a fight with Alter. Alter puts a figure of Ulrich on pre-order, I think last week, right? Now we have Any-Game. Like, both companies are making figures of the same exact characters, but based on different artworks. Not exactly picking a fight, just my choice of words over here, but yeah, they're competing against each other. And obviously, Any-Game stuff are cheaper. Now, I liked the outer version a lot. That was 30,000 yen. This one is a whole 8,000 yen cheaper, but detail is not lacking at all. And this is also very photogenic because let me bring up this photography work over here. This photograph is beautiful, but I would have set up the scene a bit differently, but this is still a beautiful photograph overall. And it is exactly photography works like this that make people want figures, especially for people like me, because I appreciate figure photography a lot. So this one, oh yes, highly recommended. I don't have anything else to say. This is really good. Yeah. Okay, moving up to the next figure, we have Argus from Azur Lane. This went on pre-order on a Monday, I think, even way before I covered Megahobby Expo. 22k by Golden Head at 1/7 scale, June release next year. You see the difference between Japanese and Chinese? This is a much simpler figure, smaller at 1/7, 22k, and then any game gives you 1/6 scale at 22k. Yeah, this Argus, she looks okay, right? I don't have any complaints with the figure. Just that when you get to compare things, you'll start to see the difference in the value offering. Okay, moving up to the next one, we have Mietos 1/7 scale A-Gear Rose Ceremony version from Azur Lane again, 27k. Wow, Mietos stuff are not cheap. Oh yeah, they have a series of Azur Lane figures wearing black color outfits and sitting on this red color couch, I remember now. I think they even have Arc Knight figures wearing very similar outfits and also sitting on red color sofas for some reason, but they really do blend well together. Okay, so this is coming out in March 2025. Okay, that is quite soon. A-Gear, I still like the one by Actors the most, but that thing is massive and expensive, right? Yeah, the big thing. This is not bad. Mietos is an excellent brand from China. Okay, moving on to the next one. Yeah, by now, I think most of you who want this figure have already pre-ordered, right? Honkai Impacted Kiana Evening Invite by Apex Toys, 24,000 yen, 1/7 scale, September release. Yes, this is cheaper in Taobao if you choose to get it from China. This is beautiful. Right, this is beautiful. And so far, I haven't collected any Honkai Impacted figures. Will this be my first one? I'm not sure yet. I'm kind of tempted to pre-order. Yeah, not too late to hit the pre-order button. I'll give myself one more week to think about it because I don't want to pre-order things randomly, right? This is a must-have. Seriously, for Honkai fans, this is a must-have. Okay, moving on to the next one, we have Konpaku Yomu from Touhou Project by Solarian, Chinese figure brand again. A really good one as well. 25k coming out in October next year at 1/7 scale. This is very nice. Oh yeah, I discussed about this figure in Megahobby Expo. This is actually one of the best looking Yomu figures I've seen in recent years, man. Yeah, being someone who does not like effect parts on anime figures, I like this a lot, right? This is an effect part, a flame part done right, because there are a lot of Konpaku Yomu figures out there by other figure brands. It looks more like a flying sperm, but this doesn't look like one, so I like it a lot. This is my favorite Yomu figure yet. I would even go as far to say that, so yes, she comes as highly recommended. Moving on to the next one. What did I tell you guys just 2 weeks ago? When DMM Factory asked for like 27,000 yen for a 1/7 scale figure of Kana Arima in date style. Now Good Smile is giving you something similar for only 16k and bigger at 1/6 scale. I already said this 2 weeks ago. So the only thing that makes this figure by Good Smile a bit inferior to the DMM Factory one is that, yeah, the DMM Factory version, the outfit design is a lot more detailed, a lot more things going on the outfit, but the price gap is so big. 27,000 yen, 16,000 yen. A whole 9,000 yen difference, which in that case, I would still go for this simpler looking figure with a bit less detail. Yeah, and I trust Good Smile in delivering good quality figures at a low price, right? Not to mention, I love JKs, and Loli JK combination is a huge win over here. Kana Arima is now my favorite girl in Oshinoko. I like her more than Akane actually. Both are great, but I lean towards Kana Arima more because, you know, when she has a bad attitude, a full attitude, as some people call it, but to me, I like her sarcastic side. That's the thing. Yeah. So this is, yeah, highly recommended. I told you guys, this is an expensive week. Moving on to the next one, we have Prisma Wing Echidna Glass Edition at 1/7 scale. You know what? This turning out to be at 27,000 yen was a bit cheaper than my prediction of 30k. But can I recommend it? Still a no. That's the thing with Echidna, not many scale figures of her, but my favorite one was it Kadokawa, where she is sitting, she is having tea, sitting on the chair with a table in front. Yeah, Victorian era style furniture design. Was there an umbrella? I can't remember. I think that was the Kadokawa one that came out more than a year ago. That is still my favorite Echidna figure. This one is not bad looking, but at least this is not as overpriced as many other Prisma Wing scale figures. Yeah. Moving on to the next one. Okay, this went on pre-order last Saturday as well. I'll mention her briefly. 1x7 scale Spark illustration by Mignon. Deluxe edition with Wall Scroll 20k by Hobby Sakura, or figure only at 18,000 yen. Yeah, like I mentioned earlier when I covered that police woman earlier. So this is, this is a generic art figure, but I like the character design because I am a big fan of slender women, right? So this is my kind of thing, just that I'm not sure if I like the base at all. Yeah. If I were to do a diorama, maybe I'll do a playground maybe, and she is standing on one of the whatever that is called. Anyways, I'm too lazy to think now. We still have a long way to go. Yeah, Hobby Sakura figures are great. Moving on to the next one, we have a re-release of Land from GGO, Gun Guild Online. Oh, this is nostalgic. Season 2 is airing soon, right? After all these years, I did enjoy GGO Season 1. It is not something that everyone will enjoy for sure. It is very different from Sword Art Online, but I actually like GGO quite a lot. I love guns. So this one is by Plum, formerly known as Plum, PM Office A, 15,000 yen only before discount. But the best Land figure is the one by Kotobukiya. Will she be re-released? I would say the likelihood is very high. So if you are undecided, hold off your pre-order on this one and wait one or two more weeks and see if Kotobukiya put their version on a re-release or not. I would say it is very possible because, new season is coming. Okay, moving on to the next one, 1x8 scale, Lady Nagant. Hey, wait, did I cover this last week? I think I did, right? I think I did. Okay, by Belfine, yeah. She has a prosthetic arm, which is interesting. You don't see figures like this very often. Okay, moving on to the next one, we have a 1x7 scale GGG Char Aznable, one of the most famous faces in the Gundam universe, by Mega House, 16k, coming out in March next year. This is a re-release and they still limit it. Yeah, limited reprint edition. The best Char figure is the one where he is sitting on the big white horse, by Mega House as well. That is like 35 or 40k. Yeah, and an Army exclusive, I think. Okay, moving up next, we have one more male figure here. Yeah, Final Fantasy, that is 14. Yeah, 14. Meister quality figure, Omega. Oh, please, Square Enix, no. Please don't call the stuff you make quality. It doesn't exist. Yeah, I can't really recommend anything Square Enix makes, right? 23k for this thing, which I doubt is a very big figure. Two figures over there for 23,000 yen. This is going to be tiny, which makes it even harder to recommend. Okay, moving on to the next one, we are now into low-cost figure territory, and you are looking at something that I have already pre-ordered because this is a must-have. Okay, my first Lulumo figure, my first Tamano Kedama art figure. Yeah, there is an existing one by Bear Panda already released. I think other YouTubers have reviewed her by now. That version, I'm not sure if I will get it. Very cheap, I might still get one, but this is officially my favorite Lulumo figure now because she comes in pair with Kulobo, right? And two figures for 11,000 yen, holy. Two 1x6 scales for 11,000 yen. Man, I would be checking your brains, man, using a microscope or something if you did not pre-order this one. Okay, if you get them separately, they are way more expensive at 7,500 yen each. So it makes no sense to get them separately, buy them together. Will they come with separate bases, like each individual bases? I'm not sure, maybe not, which is why they are cheaper, right? Regardless, I still prefer both of them together because one figure only feels like something's missing, it feels incomplete. So yeah, please pick one up if you haven't done so yet. This is so worth it. Okay, moving on to the next one, another Bear Panda figure, 1x6 scale Luo Hong, 7,700 yen. July release next year. You see, I filmed and spoke about this figure in my unpublished OneFest Shanghai video, and I told myself that it is impossible that this thing would cost less than 5 digits in Japanese yen, and yet this thing is going for 8,000 yen. What the heck? How is this even possible? Because this is not a plain figure, no? With a plastic disc base. She is sitting on a whole diorama base, for God's sake. And this thing is so cheap. I really have no idea how Bear Panda does it. But given that this is like a truly original character, it's not something from any artist. Maybe licensing cost is nearly non-existent, which is why they were able to make it so cheap. And yeah, I might pick one up. Not planning to pre-order now. I might change my mind later, but this is something that I have my eyes on. I might pick one up later. Yeah. Okay, moving on to the next one. We have more cheap Chinese figures from Ensan. 1/6 scale Sleep Devil Nonos Deluxe Edition, where you get a shopping cart. And if you don't want that, she is 8,500 yen. Okay, so that shopping cart, actually you can get one for like $2. Yeah, the gifts store in my country, in my local town, everywhere you can find one very easily. But you might want to get this figure with these shopping carts over here because of the color matching. I mean, you go to a gift store and buy a shopping cart for $2, but if you couldn't find one in that blue color, handle over there, the same blue color, then what is the point? So you get the figure with the shopping cart, right, for 11k at 1/6 scale. This is not as high of a value proposition compared to this Luo Hong or even the Lulumo figures, but hey, this is cute, this is adorable, and this is still very cheap compared to the Japanese stuff. Man, the Japanese brands are in trouble, man. Maybe not in trouble, but they need to be very careful with the kind of characters they choose to make with their figures. Okay, moving on to the next one, more cheap figures. This is also among my favorite figures this week. And once again, I will be inspecting your brains under a microscope. Or if you did not pre-order this one, because this figure right here, this Bunny Girl by Weaver Studio, original Sailor Bunny, is going for 7,500 yen only. Whoa! And she has a nice weir to boot. Nice ass, man. I said that I would be checking your brains, but I myself have not pre-ordered it yet because I feel afraid, you know? I mean, imagine, this figure I want, I add to cart. That figure I want, I add it to cart. And before you realize it, you have 10 figures and 100,000 yen in your cart. It is such a dangerous thing to pre-order things blindly. That's the problem, you see? This is coming out in December 2025. Man, more than a year to go. Maybe I'll just pre-order without thinking much. Okay, moving on to the next one. Okay, this one went on pre-order last Friday or Saturday as well. So a quick mention over here, Apex Toys Lime Pie series, their version of Pop-Up Parade, except they are bigger at 1/8 scale. We have Unicorn Angelic Nurse version from Azur Lane, 6,000 yen only. I told you guys, your wallet are in trouble this week. This is the most expensive week ever of the year. And other than that trash by Square Enix earlier, there are no bad figures at all this week, man. Yeah, making your decision making even harder. Up next, we have Figuarts Zero by Bandai. Nami, Lightning Blast, 10,000 yen, March release. They are tiny, right? I don't like them. They are tiny, but the detail level is next level compared to a typical pop-up parade. So some people, they don't have the space, but they want high quality figures. Then Figuarts Zero is an option. Okay, moving on to the next one over here, we have two Melty Princess figures by Mega House. Eurocamp Season 3, Ayano-chan, and also, Rin-chan. What happened to your hair? I prefer her longer hair back in the earlier seasons. 8,000 yen each. Moving on to the next figure, we have, the last three figures today are from ReZero by El Coco at 1/7 scale, this time around 1,000 yen more expensive, but understandable given the base you are getting over here. Normally their figures are 2,900 yen, this is 1,000 yen more. We have Ram, Jewel Princess, Ram, Jewel Princess. Ram is so much nicer looking. there's some bias over there. People prefer RAM, you know. And the last figure on HLJ, because Emilia is trash, which is why I put her at the last place. Yeah, I just want to trigger some of you who like Emilia. I don't have a specific preference on whether I like Ram or I like Emilia more. I just like to say the phrase Emilia is trash because I know people will get mad when they hear that. Okay, so 4,000 yen each might be a good buy, right? No bad figures this week, other than Square Enix once again. Okay, we are not yet done. Next stop, Ami. We have a lot of exclusives again. The first one here, Tamano Kedama. Again, we have Tiffany and Chloe 1/8 scale by Violet Studio. These are already lolly characters, and 1/8, how tiny these are. Too small. Too small figure for 26k, so 13k each. Violet Studio must be a Japanese brand, can't be a Chinese brand, because Chinese would offer them for way cheaper. And the detail level, the character design, right? The detail level is a bit low on this one, so I am fine without this pair of girls right here. Okay, moving on to the next scale figure, we have Bremerton Hugging Pillow version. This was from Megahobby Expo, and yeah, this is the 1/7 scale version by Outer, 27k. Alpha Max has the 1/4 version for 40,000 yen, I think. Pick your poison, or you buy both because you are very rich. Okay, moving up to the next one, we have the Asuna figure I just criticized a few days ago in my Megahobby Expo coverage. Now we have some official pictures straight from Mega House, and you know what? After seeing the price of 35,000 yen, I would say F no. Even if the face now looks a bit better compared to the prototype we saw at Megahobby Expo just days ago, at 35k, big no. Go and get yourself the re-release by Max Factory and you won't regret it. Yeah, that is all I have to say. Mega House, man. Moving on to the next one, we have some Gundam stuff. This is, Mega Hobby Expo again. Christina McKenzie from Gundam 0080 or 0080 War in the Pocket. 23,000 yen coming out in March. I might end up watching this Gundam series just because of this girl. She's pretty. I might give it a try. Yeah, but up next, this is a re-release, right? I think this figure came out once, or at least Mega House took a pre-order on this once before already. But who doesn't love Lacus Klein? Yeah. Those of you who prefer Kagali, right? I like Lacus a lot. So this is 27,500 yen. And if you want a high quality of Lacus Klein that is not 1/4, you don't have any other options, you'll still go to Mega House. So regardless of whether you like the price or not, this is the amount you have to pay. Yeah, I think it is worth it for Gundam fans. Okay, moving on to the next one. Okay, Gale series, by Mega House again, which means Ami exclusive. We have Orihime Inoue from Bleach. I won't go into long details again because, I covered most of this a few days ago already. 26,000 yen is fair enough. But I imagine that this is a small figure, 1/8 scale, maybe. 21 cm, 1/8 scale. Next figure, Mega House GEM. Again, Ami exclusive, Gintoki Sakata from Gintama, 24k. I heard that it is very hilarious. Right, Gintama, but I watched like 3 episodes and I stopped right there. Because the problem with old anime is that you can only find DVD quality and it is like square video and it is really hard to watch. Yeah, I'm not used to it. Okay, moving on to the next one. We have 3 versions of Urza Scarlet from Orca Toys, the Urza Scarlet specialist. I've lost count how many Urza Scarlet figures they made so far, and now they just spammed another 3 version at 34,000 yen each, 1/6 scale, red color, white color, or black color. Pick your poison. I think all 3 looks great, but I would avoid red color for some color contrast reasons, because the hair is already red color, so pick some other color for the outfit. And she is doing her usual kung fu. 34k is kind of pricey. Next one, what do we have? Okay, this is not an exclusive, just that, HLJ is late with some figure brands. Haven't listed it yet. Himiko Toga from BNHA Duffel Coat by Spiritiel. How many Himiko Toga figures are you guys going to make, man? There were 2 versions of that Himiko Toga figure where she is sitting on a pile of trash. Those 2 figures are amazing regardless of which version you get, and now they are making another one. But this is nice. I mean, this is what I call a perfect figure because you get everything in one package, man. You get a figure with an attractive pose. You get some accessory next to her. She is taking a nice bag. Where it is open, you can see the content inside. It makes the figure looks more detailed. And the base, more diorama. Yeah, and the diorama base is not too big. It does not take up too much space, which is why I regard figures like this to be a perfect anime figure. And that is why I can highly recommend it. Okay, moving on to the next one. The last 5 or 6 figures, they are all ecchi stuff. So yeah, that is all I can show. Okakizuki original illustration Eleanor Chaplin. DX version where you get that diorama base for 36k by Nocturne, or you can get the figure only with a plain base at 27,500 yen. Me being a diorama guy, of course I would go for the deluxe version. Yeah, more lieutenants again with a hand on the... I don't know what is up with this trend where there is a single hand grabbing the melon. Like, I like the concept, but when you have only a hand and nothing else, it looks a bit creepy. Yeah. Okay, moving on to the next one. Okay, wow, Futa. Okay, Melon Books Futa Tapestry Futaba. You know, every time I see a woman with the name Futaba, I'm extra cautious because it might be a Futa. 1x6 scale by Rocket Boy, 29,000 yen, almost. Coming out in... Okay, this is already pre-order closed because there are so many Futa fans out there for some reason. Maybe you can still get her over at Ninin Game, right? At a premium, of course. Okay, moving on to the next one. We have Sakana Suri Rina Sukasa. What a name. 1x6 scale by Fuat. So, the ecchi version of the SWAT team. Fuat is a... I think it's Japanese, not Chinese. It's Japanese. Okay, 21k after discount. Not bad. Let me take back what I just said. Not bad. Really? This is tiny. This is probably like 1x8 scale. But because she is... I mean, size of the figure feels like a 1x8 scale. But she is 1x6 because she is an ultra lolly. I like stuff like this, but the character design on this is... nope. Okay, moving on to the next one, we have Sakira illustrated by Sada Kage, 1x6 scale by Pure, 31,000 yen after discount. Okay, the character design on this is fine, but you know the face, it reminds me of those realistic face figures by third parties, and for that reason, I think the face ruins everything for me. Everything about the figure is amazing, I like it so much, and I almost want one. But the face, I think it is more of an acquired taste. And the last figure for today, Okakizuki again. Barabani illustration. 1x5, nice. By Pure, only 24k. Huge melons, not my kind of thing, but the face, man. The face expression. One day, I will end up buying stuff like this, not because of the melons, but because of the face. Because these ecchi figures, right, what they really excel in is making their face appear like super seductive, and I like that so much, right? I think the face is so important, the most important thing in any anime figure. Just that, so many things I want, not enough money, right? I think that applies to everyone. So that is all for genuine figures this week. Yep, there are no Forts Japan or Beeful stuff this week, or Insight for the matter. Thank God. Oh. Okay, so now we are in third-party territory, making use of OSGK, which is our affiliate partner for the third-party section. And we don't have many figures for this week because it is a holiday in China. Most of the figures, if not all, they were listed on last Saturday or earlier on Monday. Yeah, so they were all off since Tuesday. I think they are back online on Friday, but you know, they need to sort out their orders and emails and so on yet. So they haven't listed anything new on Friday. Okay, as usual, we begin with Anya. We have 2 figures over here. The first one, Bubble Blowing Girl Anya. Oh, wow. How did they... Okay, I don't think those bubbles are, hollow on the inside. I don't think. I would be happy to be wrong. Anyways, still feels a bit too generic to pay $100 for. Yeah. And the second Anya figure over here, what the heck is this? Candy House Studio. Lotso Anya Forger. Is this something from the Mario or what? I have no idea. No, can't be, right? 77 bucks. No, thank you. Okay, up next we have two One Piece figures, I think. Both are Boa Hancock. This is an announcement and only an artwork by XY Studio. Yet, they are taking full pre-orders at $610 coming out in June. Yeah, just an artwork. Not even a prototype picture, man. The second Boa Hancock figure here comes with Luffy and can be purchased separately if you buy. You can buy Luffy only or Luffy with Boa Hancock, so you have to pay 350 bucks for this one. Okay, December release very soon at no scale mentioned, but I would imagine this is 1/6 scale. Yeah, this is 1/6 scale by Diamond Studio. To me, it is just another generic One Piece figure. Like, I've seen 100 different variants of the same thing, you know. Okay, moving on to the next one from Baji Studio. We have Asuka. This is early bird, not a final price yet, but yeah, still cheap at 174 bucks. Two different colors. You can get her in red or in black. Oh, actually, Asuka with white hair doesn't look that bad at all. But yeah, I am a colors person. I would lean towards this one if I had to choose between the two. Okay, what else do we have next? Wow, we are going through very quickly, man. I think the resin figure section will be over in 10 minutes. Okay, now we are looking at the 1/4 scale original character Inoue Iris by Pop Studio. And at $429, this is an absolute bargain because you are getting extra parts to swap out the figure. You can display her partially casted off, right? So $429 for a 1/4 resin is not bad at all. And it feels like I've seen this character somewhere before where a licensed BBC figure brand has made a figure of in the past at 1/6 scale. Yeah, very familiar. Okay, moving up next, another original character. This is an action figure at 1/6 scale by Underverse Studio. $299 for everything you are getting is not bad at all, right? This is like an astronaut suit from the 1950s, 1960s, I think. Yeah, very creative. I like it so much, man. I mean, if I have additional disposable income and I don't know how to waste that money, this is something I wouldn't mind having. Yeah. This feels very original, like everyone has been spamming bunny suit with as little cloth as possible covering the melons, but this is something entirely unique and I would like to see original stuff like this more often. Yeah. Okay, so moving on to the next one. This is 1/6 or 1/4. No scale mentioned, but this is over 50 centimeters. I would assume this is 1/4. Okay, so Juhun creates studio with original character Machine Girl Aria, and there is a white version and the purple version. The purple version we only have a teaser picture, so currently I'm still leaning towards the white color version. Who knows, the purple one might end up looking better, but I think this character is more suited for white color, right? And I like it a lot. Reminds me of Mecha Musume or even Gundam in a way. I used to be a big fan of Gundam. Nowadays, more like I don't have time for them anymore. The model kits, no time, no money. Moving on to the next one, 1/4 scale licensed resin figure from Hibi Studio. We have Journey to the West, Female Demon Series, Spider Spirit 4th Sister. What kind of name is that? Okay, so Spider only is going for $553 and Spider plus Wukong. Oh, okay, the new Wukong game, right? I did not play it. The new and hottest selling game. Okay. Wow, that is fast. We have a high quality figure of her already by a licensed figure brand. And this is from OneFest Shanghai, by the way. Oh god. I did not see Ruru Berries make a thread on this studio, Hibi Studio. That means they have not yet done updating their websites. Oh god. I'm running out of time over here because I have a vacation starting on Monday and I need to film everything before and edit as well before Sunday. Oh god. Great looking figure for $600. Up next, Lawang Studio. They used to be called Lawang Nieme Studio. Now they have shortened it. Sounds much better now. Lawang Studio is the old king Lawang Studio. Yeah, sounds like a nice name. Original character Sakuragawa Yuiko, you have two versions over here. Regular version is like S cup opie size for $240. Deluxe version is stage 4 cancer size at $315. So you pick a poison, whether you prefer S cup, Z cup, or stage 4 cancer. Stage 4 cancer obviously has the better face expression. I shouldn't be making fun of people with breast cancer, but anyways, I am an absolute menace. When you see me talk in private with my friends, my dark humor is on the next level. Okay, moving on to the next one, we have Tisto Senton's Studio. Oh, Hatsune Miku with F cups. No, this is not F, this is like Z cup. Anyways, there are two versions over here going for up to $349. Oh no, they are actually quite cheap. Seated version is $232. Inverted version, which I can't put on screen, is going for $232, and you can get both for $349, a huge price cut. But Miku with huge melons is not Miku at all. This is for those of you melon enthusiasts. Yeah, they make stuff like this because people actually buy them. Up next, oh, Fern, right? I still like the one by, which studio I can't remember. There are better figures of Fern out there. Like this one with Goblin on her, it feels like a low effort figure. Like an easy cash grab from people who like stuff like this. But you know, it is not like they have a choice because there are no higher quality stuff than what they are looking at on this picture. And being an early bird, even if this turns out to be way lower than $299, if this is $199, I still wouldn't say I can recommend it. No, I can't recommend this figure at all. Spend your money on something better looking. Okay, moving on to the next one. Wow, YouTuber Little Killer Will Shy Lily. Isn't that Gorgura but with bigger melons and plasters? Okay, by Zero Tetragonal Studio. Did I cover this one last week? I can't remember. I think I did, but there was no price. Now we have an official pricing of $284 at 1/6 scale, which is still within the acceptable price range for a 1/6 scale resin figure, but it is leaning towards the expensive end of things. But when I think about it, you know, there are extra parts for you to swap out because you can display her custard off. Maybe $284 is still reasonable. Yeah, and she is coming out in June next year. Moving on to the next one, we have one or two Honkai Impact figures. The first one here, this is my favorite third-party resin figure of the week. Honkai Impacted Vita by Arctic Wolf Studio. There are two versions. The first one you are seeing on screen, A version seating position. This is my favorite one, $257. And then version B, yeah, I'm putting it on screen right now, $190 edgy version, which feels a bit gimmicky, and you can get both for $395. Personally, I would settle for version A, yeah, because her face looks amazing. And the pose and everything else, I have no complaints, so I will stick with version A if I had to choose, right? No point getting both. Okay, moving on to the next one. Okay, Hakimi Studio, I covered them once before a few weeks ago, where they made an edgy figure of Bronya Daychik. And now they have revealed a new version, which you might want to consider it, because this is also one of my favorite figures this week for the third-party section. Not like there are many of them to begin with. Jeez, up to $600, man. So, Game Deluxe version, the one you are seeing on screen, that is $468. Okay, I would settle for this one, $468. I don't need the edgy version. This is actually very reasonable considering there are so many things going on. Even at 1/6, this thing is massive. Yeah. Wow, Hakimi Studio. Everyone wants my money, man. June 2025, that is quite fast for something so complicated. Yeah, the Vita figure earlier is... I have to demote her to second place. This is in first place, the best of the week. Okay, moving on to the next one, Genshin Impact. We have like 3 figures. The first one, Raiden Shogun again. How many figures of her being made into something very cultured? Way too many of them. So this is by XP Studio, $239, coming out in December. Very soon. No. The figure looks really nice, like very high in amount of detail, especially the base and everything, but no. Okay, moving up next. Hey. FBI is watching. Candy House Studio, Klee from Genshin Impact. Don't worry, she is wearing pantsu, right? But there is a version B when you can where you can choose to remove it, so that is still not a good thing. $137 for the one with the removable pantsu feature. So go for that one if you insist. Okay, I'll stop here. I won't describe the figure any further. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, this one right here. Bunny Studio, they are stealing Infinity Studio SSR figures design wholesale, man. Yeah, SSR figure by Infinity Studio, they have been doing original character figures sitting on exactly the same couch, the same sofa, and the bunny suits on their bodies are also exactly the same, and all Bunny Studio here did is to copy everything and change out the heads, swap out the heads for Genshin Impact characters, because that is all it took to make you guys hit the purchase button. Interestingly, this is 1/7 scale, not 1/6. So I am suspecting they actually stole the sculpt from Infinity Studio, like they did a recast and then they just make some small modifications and change out the heads into Genshin Impact characters. So it feels a bit unethical to me to recommend this to you guys. But then again, there are so many other better Genshin Impact third-party resin figures out there. Why would you settle for something like this, right? Yeah, so I can't recommend this one. Next figure. Okay, this one will round up top 3 best resin figures of the week. Circle Max Studio, we have Riku Hachima Aru at 1/4 scale, $346, or you can get her at 1/7, $190. Yeah, go all out and buy 1/4, right? Oh, the face actually looks good. This is the kind of figure where the face will make or break the figure. So hopefully they get her face done right, man. This is very important for this figure of Aru. Okay, and the last figure for today, Touhou Studio Azur Lane Janus. I can't remember if I covered this last week, but a quick mention anyways. $276 for the high edition, but not yet confirmed. So we will see. After seeing so many amazing figures in Megahobby Expo from Azur Lane, this is starting to look a bit bland, if I have to be frank with you guys over here. And that is all for figures on pre-order this week. Let me know which figure is your favorite this week, which one will you pre-order. And until then, if you found this video helpful or informative or entertaining, give this video a like, subscribe to this channel for more anime figure content every week. And until then, I'll see you guys soon. This is a tiring week for me. Right, goodbye and thanks.